Good morning, Facebook, YouTube family. Hello, hello, hello. We are about to rock out with a mind your business moment with the Hardens. We've been having something in our heart, and so we want to be able to rock out with you and talk about some stuff. So grab your pen, share this video, man. If you want to talk about business, though, we talk about life, love, marriage, ministry, and money. And today we're going to be talking about money. Why? Because we're about to enter into the third quarter of the year. So we want to rock out with you. So here we go. Let's grow. Good morning, honey.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our live discussion this morning. I pray your morning is going well. Every time I talk to anybody on a Monday morning, I still have the fresh residue. I can't talk to them. I still have a fresh residue from my prayer call, and so I always want to help you do what we do every Monday morning. Is command our week. We have a prayer call. We bring everybody on and say, "Hey, let's pray. Let's speak into our week before our week speaking to us. Let's command authority. Let's command victory." So I say a quick prayer. Father, I pray over anybody who's watching this live, anybody who's on right now, Lord, anybody who's on later. I pray, God, that they can captivate your expectation and be able, Lord, to solidify it with their power and authority to make sure it comes to fruition. Captivate your expectations, solidify to make sure it comes to fruition. I thank you. I praise you, honor your name, pray, man. Somebody say, what did he just say? I want you to understand what God is want for you. I want you to make sure it don't change, whatever you got to do, and I want you to make sure it happens. So I pray all that over your week this week. So we're getting ready to have a quick discussion this morning. Me and my wife, as she do what she do and make sure she spread the word that we're live. Me and my wife understand quite a few things. We have been in this journey of life. We've been in this journey of marriage. We've been in this journey of parenting. We've been in this journey of church, ministry, and then now business. We've learned a lot of things over the years. And, one thing about it, people are pretty okay with listening to you until you get to a certain point, and then they start tuning you out. And we want to make sure that we don't stop talking just because people may start tuning you out. And it's just when
Hey, but
people
I
start,
want to add though, there's some ones that don't tune you out, baby. They be
yeah.
glued in. And listen, that's to those that's on here this morning. I need you to say good morning. If you're in the lines in, I need you to put the lines in there, all that great stuff. But there are people that listen, but then there's people that tune you out. But hey, go ahead and finish what you was gonna say. I just want to add that in there for those yeah.
And the reason I'm saying people tune you out because when people start thinking, okay, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. Okay, now you're doing too much. I can't do that, and they start coming back down again. We want to get this
Oh,
morning,
I
we want
get what
to push
you're
you
saying.
and get you to a point to realize that don't think this unrealistic. Good morning, young lady. Don't think it's too hard. I know for a fact. Listen, we are. I always tell people this is that we are naturally who we are. That's who we are. But God has a supernatural plan for our life, and to become that supernatural plan, you got to do some things that you can never believe. But that's where faith comes in at. So we're gonna share some things with you this morning. A new thought process. I got this here. I'm pulling on everybody who's listening right now. I'm pulling on everyone who's listening right now. And I want you to give me your first response, but beyond my wife's response for the Lions and all the things. But I want you to give me a response and put, I want to make millions. I want you to put that in there. I want you to
Ooh,
say that.
wait a minute.
I
This came from the preacher. Hold on. People be like, go ahead. Yeah, that comes from the preaching. I think people don't understand that it doesn't matter who you are, church, not church, whoever, that you want to be able to know what he just said. But say that, Bishop.
You got to admit it. I think we all laugh and joke about it until it's time to do it. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. But then we get to the point where you actually can get it done, and you're like, okay, I want you really what you really mean. I want somebody to give me $1 million. You don't want to actually go get a million. You want somebody to bring it to you. You want to win. Thank you, Miss Legans. I believe you're on your way.
Come on.
Everyone put on there and say, I want to make millions. I want you to put this on there. And I want you to solidify this in your heart and not just in your typing. And believe it. I believe I can be a millionaire. I believe I can be a millionaire. We're going to talk about this tonight. And listen, I'm going to talk about this today. And I want you to understand that we're going to push a agenda from this discussion. But you got to accept the agenda. You can't just think that, yeah, you may be able to go to the lottery boards and play the lottery and make a million. But the one who make a million will keep a million. The one who's given a million will have to figure out how to get it again because they will spend it and lose it. So let's talk about that. I saw one person say, well, I want to make millions. I guess everyone else don't want to make millions this morning.
Yeah, not this morning, Bishop. I guess
Not
so.
this morning. We're gonna still push the agenda. We're still gonna push the agenda. So you ready, babe, to jump into discussion?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm looking for one more thing, and then I'm ready. Um, yeah,
Watch.
I'll go ahead.
You sure you're gonna be able to be with us? If you're not gonna be with us, I'll wait for you.
Yeah, yeah. Keep talking for about. Give me 1 minute.
Okay then. If anybody's joining, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share. Share the discussion. Share the discussion. And I want you to make sure that you get your pen and paper if you can. If you can't, do as good as you can and make mental notes. We're gonna share some things with you this morning. And but
Can we say
for
this, Bishop, before we while I'm doing this? Thank you to everyone that came out to support our baby for her
yeah,
wedding. We appreciate you guys. And for those that's been look, don't text me about who wasn't there. Look, the girl, this was her wedding. She invited them. That's it. And we enjoyed her and we enjoyed her time and all of that great stuff. So I want to say thank you to everyone that showed up. My baby had a beautiful wedding.
yes, she
For
did.
those that I put congratulations, we appreciate you guys so much for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, there we go. I found it.
All right.
Anything you want to add to that, Bishop? You are you
No,
excited about
you
your
said it.
baby?
I'm glad it's over with. We're moving on to the next part of our life now.
All right, go ahead. I'm ready.
All right. So y'all, so we talked about. Well, actually, this is your discussion. I want you to bring it up.
Huh?
I said, this is your. Well, I go ahead and jump out there. So the key thing we talked about this, and me and my wife was having a discussion. And it's a topic that we want to share. It's called. I want you to put this up there. That is making millions is boring, or it's boring making millions. It's boring making millions. And listen, this is why I want to bring this up real quick. Is that it's boring making millions because I want you to think about this long and hard, everybody, as we talk about the discussion. We're in an age to where everyone now actually believe they can get $1 million. I think more people believe they can get $1 million more than they ever have before, but they are doing it for used to you could thought that you can get $1 million getting a lottery ticket. You used to think you can get $1 million playing basketball or playing football. And so you had people who was lost in focus and trying to get basketball. You just saw people lost in focus trying to get into football and then trying to make lottery tickets. But as soon those things faded out, they realized, I can't make $1 million. Now people think they can make $1 million being a social media influencer, YouTube, all these other things. And so now it's more people who's trying to make millions fast and quick. And listen, and they're trying everything, whether it's a get rich scheme or whether it's whatever. And everyone is and they're abandoning things pretty quickly, sweetheart, on
Right,
from one thing to the next, one thing to the next. And we realize is that we've been in business now for 5 years, and before we say this, it get going pretty good. Our business has grown, and I'm proud to say I'm not going to apologize. It's grown. It's done pretty well over the last 5 years. Every year we've increased our profit margin. Every year we increase not profit margin. Every year we increase our profits. Every year we increase our income. Every year we increase different things. And once you get, which is a whole nother discussion. We need to talk about what do you do with the money when you get it? How do you
mm,
manage it right so God to keep
yeah.
sending it? But one thing we can admit, all the growth we have on our way to millions, we haven't made millions. Our business have done pretty well, and we won't get into the topic of what is done. It's done pretty good, but on our way to millions, we've learned that it's boring. It's not something that's popular. It's not something that This is what I want to get to. I'm going to talk right now. We have a Lions Den, and people will come to our Lions Den. Boom. The Hardens are doing pretty good, y'all. We're gonna go learn the secrets of the Hardens. I'm gonna be right straight real. We're going straight to the root today. We're gonna follow the Hardens, and the Hardens doing pretty good. And we get there, and they see this long list,
Up
Lamisha,
to do list.
of the to-do list. And hold up, wait, whoa. Y'all did it fast. Y'all got there quick. I saw y'all one day and y'all was homeless. I saw y'all another day and y'all was living and doing and building houses and kids was doing different things. This list, no. You don't realize you missed the whole journey. This been
Yeah.
going on since 2018. And I think and people get around, it's so disappointing. I'll be real. It's so disappointing to see all these people come to the Lions Den and they ready, locked and loaded. And then they realize how long the list is, how much work you got to get done, and then this was no fast, no light switch
No
coming on.
get quick, no get rich quick scheme. It's not that. When they find that out, it's like, whoa. And not saying that, I'm just saying, but it's like,
No,
oh,
we're
you
not
got
gonna
to put in
apologize.
work.
One thing we're not gonna
Are
do.
we not
One
going to
thing
apologize?
we're not gonna
Okay.
backstep. We're not gonna backstep. The
Okay.
reason I
Yes,
said it
sir.
because we so busy backstepping that when people disqualify themselves, no, I want to hit that person in their heart who made it and who believed because they saw it happening, and then they disqualified when they saw what it take to do it. We're
Right.
gonna deal with that today. If we're gonna deal with this topic, we're gonna go all the way in, and we're not gonna backstep today.
Look, I'm the one gay the topic, and then I'm trying to slide back because I'm like, I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but I do. And I want to say this with this topic is that, and for those that are in, I need you to type in, it's boring building millions. I had to get comfortable. I ain't gonna lie, Bishop. I had to get comfortable talking about this because it is uncomfortable talking about building millions, and especially as leaders and pastors. But I know that God has given us an assignment. There are some pastors that are called to politics. There are some pastors that are called to, different things and nonprofits. We're called to businesses. And we
Yes.
realize that. And so with that, I kept hearing this statement, it's boring building millions. It's boring building millions. Yeah, the list will have you like, well, but it's worth it. Yes, it will. That Lions Den list will make you wait a minute.
But listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna say something so controversial right here. Caucasian America has it all figured out. Watch this. Caucasian America been doing this since their grandpa and grandma and mama
Mhm.
and many others. And listen, so they got hundreds of years of understanding what it takes to obtain and maintain and sustain $1 million operation.
Come
African
on.
Americans are just getting started. And we have this little bit of knowledge, a little bit of information. And we're trying to, within that lion's den, we have figured out a lot. We've been in a lot of rooms, we've been in a lot of places. And I'm not just saying lion's den, but I'm saying lion's den today. But through the Hardens and what we're trying to share, we've seen a lot. We're trying to pack all that into us to let us realize we're trying to overcome many years of being behind. We're behind. So we got
Mhm.
to, drill in our heads stuff like capability statements. We got to drill in the head stuff like high
Policies,
entry
procedures,
policy.
policies, procedures, structure. We're building that into mind and not. Yeah, go ahead.
Anybody can go start a business today. Anybody can go start a business. Anybody can go start a hobby. But you have seen millions of people start and stop. You've
Can
seen
somebody
millions of
put
people.
that start? What was the first thing you said? You said that.
I forgot.
I need you to put in there. So many of us say start and stop. We start and stop. I need you to put that in the
We have
screen.
many millions of people start. We have many people who started businesses.
And
Many
they
people
stop.
start business and they stop. And
Yeah.
when what happens, the reason why, listen, if you've seen so many people start and stop or get going, and as they got going, they was moving and they gave up, or they were struggling. It's because everybody's is doing it the same way. Everybody's doing it the same way. You gotta break over that barrier of what we know. Oh, that's good. My God, that just hit me in my shot. No, no, no. This is our knowledge line. And so we keep hitting the knowledge line. This is all we know. This is all we know. This is all we know. When we get there, we hit the knowledge line, and everybody gets that point. And listen, we went from working for somebody to starting a business, and we do what we know, and we don't want anybody to teach us anything. When you break over your knowledge line of what we know, now you got to learn what you don't know, and now you got to do what you didn't know, and now you realize it's going to be work. It's going to be boring, but it's going to be work. But if you keep working it, it will be worth it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going this morning. You want to add anything to that, sweetheart? Because we're going to go a little
Yo,
deeper.
I want to add, I've been hearing that statement. I've been hearing a lot. And so when after hearing this statement, and I'm hearing this statement from those that have built millions, and I heard that statement, I'm like, you know what? The thing that we built within our business did not happen overnight. And I know most people may look at it, and like you said, a lot of people, that have reached out to us, and we appreciate that. It is an honor. We thank you for even being those that are in the den. Shout out to everybody that's a part of the den that is going on the journey. Can y'all heart it up for those in the den? Thank y'all for rocking out with us. But I want to say this is that when I heard that statement, I realized this, that we didn't build this overnight. And I know it may seem like that to some people, but with us, we built this throughout time. And I got to go all the way back to from the time you were in the shopping center. When we were starting New Destiny, you know what I'm saying? The day we started New Destiny, we had to have policies, procedures, job descriptions, all of these things that we had to create, and we had to be consistent with it, even knowing that it could fail, it could mess up. We still had to keep building. And that's the thing that when I heard that, it just witnessed to me so well that it
Yeah,
is boring building millions because, and I'm like you, I'm not ashamed to say that we've seen our business grow every year in profits. We've seen our business grow every year, and especially last year, it was like, dang, we've seen this business grow to that, but it did not happen overnight. Can somebody type that? It will not happen overnight. It will not happen overnight. And it's boring building millions.
it is.
It's not fun. And when we say that, when I heard that, I was like, ugh. But then when I saw it, I was like, you know what? You got to be committed when it comes to building this. You cannot be the person that start and quit, start and quit, start. Now let me go back,
I wish we
because
could have pulled Legans onto this call. I really
don't make
wish.
me send her the link.
Ask if she want to join. She want to join. I would love to put her into this.
Legans, you
Legans,
still there?
if you want to
Legans,
join, I want you. If you want to join, just say, "Hey, add me." Just say, "Add
Bishop,
me."
you're gonna have to forward her the email that I sent
She
you.
gonna say, "She said, hey, I
She's
ain't
gonna be
did my
like,
hair."
why y'all do this to this? Legan's gonna be like,
If
no,
you
y'all
want to be
didn't.
added, just say, "Add me." And if you don't understand, because I know we caught you off guard, because
Yeah.
I want to say, the reason why I say Legans because Legans is the epitome of embracing the boring. She's the epitome of embracing the boring. And one thing about when you're embracing the boring, you do have some exciting moments. When
She
you get a
said,
chance to
y'all, I'm in the bed.
you know what? I told you to get your behind up at 6 in the morning. She said, I'm tired. But we'll get you next time. We'll get you next time. It will not happen tonight. I want to say this here quick, baby, because as we keep pursuing different things, right? It's not just boring building millions, it's boring losing weight the right way.
Yes, cheese on the main line. It is.
Listen, it's boring getting healthy.
Mhm.
It's boring building a successful marriage. It's boring with everything. It's easy to post a good post, but it's hard to leave that post and go deal with your real relationship. So what we're going to deal with today, some things we're going to talk about, but we want to get you in mindset. This world right now is on this fast track to everything. But Mama said years ago, anything worth having is worth working for. So
Come
we're going to
on,
talk about that
husband.
today, a little bit about that. So, get out of your mindset on, here go the Hardens talking again about, their success story. No, we're talking about today our
Work.
struggle.
Our work, our struggle, our tears. I'm not gonna say necessary tears because it takes work to do this. It
Hmm.
takes work, and you got to be willing. And that's what I do love about the den is that you literally got to go through the process. Can somebody say process? It is a process to build millions. It's a
Yes.
process. It does not happen overnight. And if you keep switching up, so for me, when I switched up, I tried Mary Kay, I tried the traveling agency, I tried the da 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 da. But when it came to me building my own bishop,
Hmm.
I knew that it was going to take time. So years ago, so I found out this is that in building millions, there's a couple of things we want to share with you. Is that, and I know you have three things, right, Bishop?
I want to say something before I get into three things real
Okay,
quick,
go ahead.
though. Okay, so first thing I want to say real quick is that the reason why I brought Legans because I watched Legans. I met Legans, and she joined the den about 2 years ago now. I think it's 2 years
Mhm.
ago now. And when I watched the young lady, she came in with a plan, and that's the one of my top thing. I'm gonna talk about it later. But she came in with a plan, and then she added us to her plan. I seen her never stop. I seen her cry. I seen her celebrate. I seen her struggle. But I also seen her keep moving forward. And that's why I wanted to bring her up because she's a great, example of I see what I got to do and I'm going to keep doing it. I seen her want to quit and connect with other people. She's a process. I seen that. That's the first thing I want to talk about. And I come back up with the last thing. Well, I will say this real quick. And one thing about the den, I want to share this real quick about the den, the Lions Den. You know, people join the Lions Den. If you ever join the Lions Den, or if you're in the Lions Den, or if you left the Lions Den, I want to hear this. I want to give this to you. You don't join the Lions Den to make $1 million. You don't. You join the Lions Den because you want to build $1 million business.
Yeah.
I'm
Say
gonna say
that,
it again.
sir. I
You
felt
don't
it in my
join the Lions
stomach.
Den because you want to make $1 million. You join the Lions Den because you want to build $1 million business. We teach you how to build $1 million business. Now I'm gonna say something right quick right now, and it's so hard for me to say that. I'm saying our business have made $1 million before a couple of times. So we can't tell you this if it's not it's something we've already done. We try to stay so grounded and sounded, but I gotta say our business have seen $1 million in contracts. Now get it twisted. I know y'all gonna twist my words, whatever. Listen, just because our business seen $1 million don't mean that we have seen $1 million. We have to pay that out in salary. And that's another lie we'll talk about. And baby, I feel comfortable saying this. That's another
Mhm.
lie we talk about because as you build your business, the more you pay out, the more God will open up for you. You can't
Yeah.
make it yourself and keep it yourself. The only way, and that's the next thing. I'm building myself right here. The way you
Building your
you
own
make a million
content. I
dollars
mean, your own topics.
your topics as you build your business up. And listen, and the only way you're going to be able to expand is by the scripture that God says, I will never put more on you than you can bear. You
Mhm.
listen, if you ain't made $1 million in your whole life, guess what? You can't make $1 million by yourself. It ain't gonna happen.
What you say?
If you have never made $1 million in your whole life, that means you cannot make $1 million on your own. You cannot. Me and my wife can't make $1 million just by ourselves. It takes a certain amount of people to bring in 1 million. It takes a certain amount of more people. See what happened? You move in the mindset of poverty. Poverty means I gotta make it. I gotta do it by myself. I gotta build it by myself. And it's a poverty mindset. And you gotta break that before you ever make $1 million. So let's
Right.
keep going. I'm getting into my topic.
And I want because you started. I'm going to add to that. And you have to be able to meet a need in order to make the
That
million.
see, how about
Can you
she
type
or
that in the
about my
screen?
share?
You gotta meet the need in order to make a million. And it cannot be about you. And most people that get in that stage and they start making money, what they'll start doing is, and we've done it, y'all. So it ain't like, you know what I'm saying? When you make money, it's like, dang, okay, I need to go buy this. I need this. I need to get a pair of shoes. I gotta get this. We gotta go buy extra. And not realizing that when you start pouring into you, that's when you lose. Because now,
Yes.
as Bishop preached yesterday, with your sermon, you forgot where you came from. You didn't remember.
Mhm.
You didn't remember that God is the one that was provider. As you said with Moses, come here. Can I go there real quick? As Moses got the big head. And
He
he
did.
started thinking, I'm the one that God is talking to. So since I'm the one, so let me come and look down on y'all and talk bad to y'all. When no, God is, you got to remember who provided for you, sugar, who opened that door to that contract. And who opened the door is not going to meet the need just for you because it has never been about you. It is about those that are around you. If it's not, here's the thing with building millions, when you meet a need, you just met the plans of God's plan, not just for your life, but also for their life.
That's it. That's it.
Also for their life. You have to
Yep.
meet a need.
So
Let me
is that your
say
number?
the
Is
message was fire. Yes, it was. Baby, I was on the edge. I forgot I was on, baby, I was on the edge of my seat. It was amazing.
was that your first point that you got me to
How
need?
that was my first point. All
So
right, because
listen,
I know we got to
uh,
go to work.
I want to say this as we get going. So I want you to get in your spirit. I want you to get your pen and paper together. And I want you to qualify yourself first. I want you to qualify yourself. Not just for the den. Yeah, I need everybody to join the den. Not because it's gonna make me wealthy, because it's gonna make your business prepared to make $1 million.
Wait,
I'm
not
not.
everybody, but that person that says I want to start a business and I am trying to climb over the fence. I'm not
Yeah.
a person that's saying I'm not trying to climb over the fence. I just need you to give me the tool. Not give me the tools, but you do it for me. That this ain't for you.
If you're
I
not,
want.
if you're not ready to, I'm gonna say, if you're not ready to quit your job and not, I'm gonna say something real crazy. Just listen to me. If you're not willing to quit your job one day to go full time in this, stay where you at. We're trying to get people to the point to where they say, okay, one day, eventually, I'm gonna get so involved because that's the kind of mindset you gotta have. You gotta believe my business is gonna. Because listen, why would you keep two jobs if you're trying to build millions? I had to choose one day. I had to leave my company. But if you're just trying to have a hobby to make a little extra money, the den is not for you.
Yes,
It's
it is. The first part of it is. The little first part is.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, you said no.
We're gonna agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree. Okay, that
But if
works.
you think one day that I am really trying to build a corporation that is or a business that I can employ multiple people, and one of those people is me, that's what this is for because it teaches you how to position yourself. I mean, literally from one step to the next step, it's gonna take time and energy and effort, right? Because we quit
We
jobs over here. We do, man. And it, listen, I'm in here as an instructor, and Miss Garrett quit her job. I'm like, dang, she made me look real bad. I'm over here scared, and she just jumped. They're like, hold up, girl, get back over here. We were just playing.
just playing. Don't do
We
that.
were just-
Right.
so
But we
listen, we
ain't
gotta
gonna
get
tell
to
you
the.
to quit your job right away.
I'm not gonna tell you quit the job, but
We're gonna build it to where you're able to have so much in your savings, at least 6 months of savings, to where you
I'm not
know
gonna
you
say
can
that.
quit your job. No,
We
see,
gonna
bitch, we're gonna disagree on here.
yeah, because listen, I believe that's a safe way of saying 6 months, but we didn't have 6 months when I quit.
We had at least three. Don't
We
stop.
had three, but you're
Okay.
gonna have to listen to the Lord. The Lord will tell you what to do. Okay,
Yes.
so let's get into a thing. So it's boring. It's boring. So why is it boring, man? What are some boring things that people gotta expect? I want to make sure I present like this because, what are some things people have not been willing to do that we've seen people not willing to do to build millions, and that's the reason why they keep resetting and starting over or quitting. What are the things they're not willing to do that they got to expect to do? That's boring.
My my thing is my number one thing is commitment. It's the commitment. When can y'all type in the screen commitment? When it's boring building business, building millions, because you gotta stay committed. And so when you're not committed and you have this repetitive thing going on, and you're doing the same thing over and over again, it becomes really really boring, because it's like, okay, you feel like you're turning the wheel, but it's really not happening. I remember starting my Periscope. I was on Periscope and doing my one-on-one life coach, right? So I'm doing a one-on-one life coaches on Periscope. That was before the pandemic, all that stuff, back in 2016. So I did a whole class on Periscope. I had about 7 people in this class, right? And it was good because it was on Periscope. And then I did another class, and that class had 2 people in it. I
Wow.
could have
I
quit
remember that.
because of the
I
two
remember
people. And it seemed like, okay, the next class I did, okay, I only had like 3 people. Then the next class I did, it was like, dang, like, okay, why am I doing this and I'm not getting the results that I'm looking for? And what happens is, when you don't get the results, you quit. Oh, can somebody type that? When you don't get the results, you
you want
quit.
to
So
quit.
my thing is commitment. If I was not committed to Tonya Harden Ministries back in 2016, and building the different ministries that were under that, Women of Destiny, Pastor's Wife Connection. Now, I gotta apologize, Pastor's Wife. I'm gonna do better with that. But Pastor's Wife, I'm still posting in there though. But Pastor's Wife Connection, all these different ministries, I would not have been able to build Butterfly Academy mentorship if I wouldn't have done these classes and tried this and did the virtual and did, the face to face and did the book coaching sessions. I wouldn't have known my value because I wasn't committed. Because, excuse me, a lot of stuff I was doing was repetitive. It
Yeah,
was repetitive. And so it's hard being committed when there's a lot of stuff that you do that is repetitive and routine. And
gotcha.
people want to run away from repetitive and routine things, and don't understand that when you are repetitive, you don't realize that you're building structure, you're building strategy, you're building plans. If it wasn't, and I always say this, one thing about commitment is that you gotta be willing, all my BAM people gonna know this, I'm about to say it, you gotta be willing to eat the elephant one bite at a time. And most people that are not committed don't want to eat. They want the whole elephant. They want to eat the whole elephant. And let me hurry up and digest this real. No, you got to eat the elephant. When you're building a business, it's like having this big old elephant in front of you, but you got to be willing to bite it one bite at a time. Can somebody type one bite at a time? You got to be willing to bite it one bite at a time. AKA,
That's
to
good.
make it even more plain, you cannot take the elevator in business. You got to take the stairs. That's
That's
what I
it.
mean. Commitment, it's routine. And most people, that when it comes to routine and repetitive, you know what I'm trying to say? That
Yeah.
when you're being very repetitive, it's like, this boring. You know what? I quit. It's not working, and I'm not seeing the fun. Think about it. With the when I build the my one-on-one coaching, it was like $75.
Mm.
$25 an hour, which that is not my cost today. But it was not at all. But I had to build that to feel it first, to
Yes.
understand it, to where now in my band program, I'm only doing once a year. Why? Because this is a journey. It does not happen overnight. So if you want to come to my program, you will not be built overnight. I do it. It's time. It takes time. So one bite at a time. It's boring meal to meal. She says boring because it takes out a lot of the guesswork, right?
Yeah.
Has made it easier to delegate the work. Come on.
Yep, yep. And you know, and you build on it, you know, and I'll just add to that, you know, my point I would say is that you know, because people can say I'm committed, I'm committed, I'm committed, I'm committed. But the problem is they're committed to making money. And when your commitment is only to make money, you would lose commitment to what you're doing to make money.
Right.
Yeah, I'm committed to getting wealthy. So, you know, I didn't try 100 things. That's the problem. What she's saying, she's not saying, you know, get committed to making millions. She's
Come on.
saying mission over money.
Mitch, oh wait, that's a good one. Type that, mission over money. And I think that's the thing, and it breaks my heart when, especially those that are assigned to us, and it breaks out my heart when I see that you're doing too much, and you find yourself overwhelmed, and you quit, and you start something else new, and you start that again when you're just trying to go after the money and not the mission.
And I'm gonna tell you our secret. So Harden Enterprise, we opened up not to make millions. I'm not gonna lie. We didn't open up Harden Enterprise to make millions. We
Come on,
opened up
husband.
Harden Enterprise because we were responding to a mission God gave us. God said jump in 2020. And we did that. And we thought my wife thought that she was gonna do one thing. I thought I was gonna do one thing. But our mission ended up being build our business, you know, build our company. And we started doing that. We built it. And listen, it's almost like in mission over money, right? Mission. Our mission was to build our business. We thought we was trying to, stop living paycheck to paycheck. We thought we was trying to stop trying to figure out how we was gonna buy medicine, how we was gonna buy underwear and socks and stuff that we needed. But God say build the business, and this is the mission. So as we
Yeah,
built the business, we thought we was gonna put one thing in it, but when you build it right, you can put anything in it.
right.
And as soon as we got to building the business in the beginning, we didn't finish building all together, in the beginning. God said, okay, now I want you to do this. And the boom, mission. The mission went from building the business now to doing this task he gave us. That
Right.
task, we learned a lot in that task. Now that's the next thing you gotta realize. You know, as you mission, the mission changes. But what God taught you in this mission
Come
will
on,
prepare you for the
husband.
next mission. What
Yes,
God
sir.
taught you in that mission will prepare you for the next mission. So she's talking about being committed. I'm still adding to the commitment part, committed to mission over money. And
Right.
listen, and we got to realize there's a certain lot of a level of knowledge. I'm gonna put a layer here in between my hand, a layer here, a layer here, a layer there. In this
Hmm.
bottom layer, you qualify for hundreds for what you learn, not for what you know. I'm gonna
Hmm.
learn how to qualify for hundreds, and once I succeed that mission, then I'm gonna learn how to qualify for thousands, and then I'm gonna qualify for hundreds of thousands. Then I'm gonna qualify for millions. But you got to learn what's down here, and you got to stick to it and be committed to the mission. Qualify for up here was learn to which in every level. If you stay committed, I'm gonna grow. But if you keep moving, watch this here. If you here and you just qualify for hundreds, and now I'm gonna try some else. I'm still qualified for hundreds. I'm gonna try some else. I still qualify for hundreds.
Come
Just
on
because
here,
you change
husband.
what you do, you're not changing what you learn. If you don't
Hmm.
change what you learn, you'll never qualify to go to a point to where you learn how to handle 100,000. If you only have been in your life, you've only had hundreds. of dollars in your account or have thousands of dollars in your accounts, that's all you qualify how to handle. You've got to
Mhm.
break the knowledge barrier. You got to get around people you never
Woo!
been around. You gotta go places you never been before. It's not just buying one class and sitting through that class. It's being it's changing your culture. It's changing how you act and what you do. I'm sorry, baby. Go ahead.
None. I was gonna say, and it's constantly growing and learning because it never stops. We thought, man, okay, when we hit that mill, it was like, man, we hit a million, and found out that somebody else had 8 figures. What? We thought 7 figures was like yes, and found out someone else had 8 figures, and it was like, oh man, so there's more opportunities, there's more stuff that you can do, and not just get focused on one thing. You got to be willing to break that knowledge barrier. That is so true, Bishop.
So number one, I'm gonna say stay committed.
Okay.
Watch this. I'm gonna jump in with the third one before I give you because I gotta add this one here. So number one,
Okay.
stay committed. Number two is mission over money. Number three, be willing to cry without quitting.
Ooh, number 3, be willing to cry without quitting. How you get 2 in a row? I ain't say mine next.
I
You
snatched it in
snuck
there real
it in
quick.
there. You joker. But put that on the screen. Be willing to cry without quitting. Oh, that's
I need
deep,
y'all.
husband.
I need y'all to put that in there because this is the biggest one. This is the biggest reason why people quit. It is. Listen, I've been in two delivery rooms. I've been in a delivery room with my wife. I've been in a delivery room with my niece. And if they quit because of the cry, they never would have got the prize. Right when the pain got the worst, they cried the loudest. And when they cried the loudest, we knew it was close. Every transition me and my wife have ever had, we cried hard right
Man,
before we shifted.
say that. Wait, pause. I need them to feel that, and that's the part that most business owners don't tell you. They make it seem like it's all gravy out here. We tell you not, and not. I'm saying most, not all, but we tell you, bruh, you will cry. You will cry while building, but you can't quit.
And listen, we lost it all every time.
Yeah.
Listen, because we realized after a while, God wasn't giving us money to keep it. He was giving us money to use it. And we like, God, we get to the point to where it's nothing left. There's nothing coming in. And we about to lose our mind. And God said, what I'm doing is teaching you to trust me. Ah, ba, ba, shi, ro, ka, ba, 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 shi. I
Come on
remember
here.
it. I'm teaching you. If it's all about you building your bank account, that's what your goal
Hmm.
will be. You completed the assignment. Now your bank account's empty. Now I'm gonna send you the next one, but can you hang out and do what I tell you to do until I send you the next assignment?
Come on, husband.
If your journey is predicated on no pain, quit now.
With the
Quit
sun,
now.
no pain, no
No
gain.
gain.
You got to be willing to go through the pain, baby.
And then you listen. Know why it's boring? You can't post that.
Yeah, Jesus on the main line. Well, Jesus,
And listen, that cry
you
moment
can
usually
post it,
comes.
but you won't post
You
it.
won't post that. I'm gonna say you won't post that.
Yeah.
You won't post that. That's not popular. You posted last week how you got all these sales and how you got all this money and how you got all this business, and anybody seen a post for you for 3 weeks.
Come on. Come
That's
on,
my
husband.
third point, baby. You can give your fourth one now. I'm sorry. Your next one.
My fourth one. So we got number 1, commitment. Number 2, mission over money. Number 3, be willing to cry without quitting. Number 4, I would say the comparison trap.
Yeah.
Type that. The comparison trap. We find ourselves comparing ourselves with other people, businesses, or trying to. You said something yesterday to someone, trying to, um, um, trying to do what
Let
they do.
artificial make you
No, wait,
disqualified
I'm
for
gonna
your
come back to that. I ain't ready
authenticity.
to say it yet. No, 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 no. We try to pretend or do what someone else is doing and don't realize that's not your calling. and you compare yourself and you get lost up in the trap of what they're doing and get off your focus of your business and find yourself trying to do what they doing, what God ain't even called you to do that, baby. You in the wrong lane. Type that. You are in the wrong lane. And so what it is, you start to it's a word I'm looking for. It starts with a C. When you're trying to not compare, but you're trying to uh demonstrate that this is who you are and it's really not who you
Uh,
are. You're trying to, when
impersonate,
two things look alike,
compatibility, uncompatibility.
compare, not compare, but it's like you're trying to
I want
ah,
to compete.
not compete, but it's one of those to where you're trying to, it's almost anyway, back to what you said. It's not authentically you. You're
Mm.
trying to be someone else and you're trying to portray that, and that's not who you are. And you're so busy trying to do what they do where you compare yourself when authentically, you said this, say the thing you said yesterday.
I say you letting artificial something. I say artificial is temporary, authentic lasts forever.
Say
You
that one more
trying artificial is temporary, but authentic lasts forever.
Here's the thing, if we get out here and we start comparing ourselves and imitating that we're someone else or we're trying to be like someone else, we try to look like what they're doing and we feel like that our business, that's one thing we do when we start to compare. We want to try to do what they do and that ain't our lane. The second thing that we try to do in the comparison trap is that we go and we look and see what they're doing and we say that our business is not enough,
Yeah,
or we say that we're not doing enough, or we say that I got to do it different, or I got to do it, or you become competitive because of your comparings. And now, because of that, you lose your focus of what God has designed you to do. You lose your focus of what God has called you to do just because this person is doing construction and you're doing construction does not mean that you have to compare yourself to their construction. You just got to do you, however you do you. And I think we get caught up, and I can say that because I've been there. I can say that because I got caught up in the
that's
comparison,
it. That's
especially
it.
in this life coaching world. Oh my God, I remember that crap, getting caught up with other people. I had to, and I was so glad God blocked off my Facebook and he shut it down. It was during that season, and I was able to restart, have a fresh start with new people that were assigned to me. And I realized that I can be, if I'm authentically me, I do not have to be someone else. Just be who God called me to be and know my niche. Type that, know your niche.
You gotta
When
know
you
your
know
niche.
your niche, you know your customer. When you know your customer, you know your need. When you know the need, oh my God, millions will follow you. But you got to know the need and you got to know your customer. You cannot compare yourself to other people to where you're implementing who they are or you're trying to be like them. Know your niche. That's
That's
what I
it.
said. We get caught up in the comparison trap, the comparing ourselves to other businesses, comparing ourselves to what they're doing and how they're doing. And then you find yourself, I never forget, and I ain't ashamed to say it, I will never forget watching this girl on social media and I started trying to do stuff she was doing. I got so lost in the sauce of who I was. I was like, what am I doing out here? And then when I found my identity of what I was designed to do to my customers, oh baby, that's when I met my niche.
That's
I
it.
found my niche.
That's it. You got to know. If you don't know that, you'll try to take other people's. It'll be so distracting. Trying to compare yourself. Well, this is one I've seen happen a lot. I'm not going to start my business because there's 100 people doing it already. There's thousands of people doing it
Yes,
already. But nobody's doing it like you. I talked to a guy not too long ago, and he was selling shirts, and he said, "Man, he said, man, I just can't get my family to buy my shirt. I can get people to buy my shirt. Da da da." I said, "Because you're selling shirts." And he said, "Huh?" I said, "Because you're selling shirts. Everybody's selling shirts." I say, people think I remodel houses. I don't remodel houses. I give people a secure experience of their house being remodeled. I'm do something
right.
different. I say, I told him your shirt need a. I say you always putting slogans on there, so you need to sell your slogans. You sell your slogans, and the slogans are different. And then they'll buy the shirt. They got your slogan on it. I said you got to figure out what is different about you. You cannot say, "Well, there's 1,000 people out here doing it, so I'm not going to do it." No, 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 no. Guess what? There's 1,000 people out there doing it, and every last one of them profitable. So go find your space. So you're right. You got to
Oh,
find your
that's what I
niche.
was gonna say. Carbon copy. They try to be a carbon copy of who you are.
That's it. They try
You
to
know
be
what I'm
carbon
saying?
copy,
They try
or you try to be a carbon copy of them.
of them. You try to become a carbon copy of them and don't realize that you're copying, but it's not you. It's
Yep.
not what you're designed to do. That's what I was trying to look for. It kept getting on my yeah. When somebody's trying to be a carbon copy, but go ahead.
Oh, I didn't mean that. Get down there. So
Yeah.
number one, we said we can't. What was the first one you said?
Commitment.
Commitment. Number two, you got to be mission over money. Number three, we said you got to be willing to cry without quitting. Number four, you don't need to be a carbon copy, or you don't need to
No,
brand
comparison
yourself.
trap.
Comparison
It's
trap.
called comparison trap.
So my third one, this is my last one. My third boring thing that you got to be willing to do. Now listen, this is something I kind of start off with, but I'm coming back to it. My third thing you got to be willing to do that's boring, and I'm telling everybody this, that's boring. But if you want to build millions, you got to do the boring thing. You have to be willing to build your business. I say build it. And we're going to build your business right now. We're in the Lions Den, and I bring back the Lions Den because every phase of our business, we have to do everything on the first
Wait,
level.
can we
We got
come back to yours? Can
okay,
I
go
come
ahead.
back to yours? So
Yeah, go
instead of
ahead.
that, so since you got two in a row, can I get two in a row?
Go ahead, then. Just because you're cute. Just because you're cute.
Because I want that to be the last one. I think that should be the last one. But I want to say this: the fifth thing that I would say is when you have to build alone. You almost isolated. Can y'all type that in the screen? I think that's the thing too, is that when you do start building and you become higher in your business and you get around your friends, the conversation becomes different, right?
Yeah,
The conversation is not the same. And that's why I want to come back to yours, because I want to talk about keep building the business no matter what.
yeah, yeah.
But before you can do that, you got to realize that separation is going to happen.
Yes,
Isolation is going to happen. Jealousy is going to happen. Envy is going to happen. It's like someone sent me something the other day and they said, you gotta sometimes come from among them, because you're so busy building that you forget that your conversation and your mindset has shifted. Oh, can you type that? My mindset has shifted because I'm starting to see stuff different. I'm starting to
wow,
see stuff in a different light. And because of that, it's not that I'm better than, but I gotta be willing to build alone. I gotta be willing to understand that I can still be around you, but my conversation may make you uncomfortable because I'm not talking about what I used to talk about. I don't have time to talk about gossip. I don't have time to talk about mess. I don't even have time to talk about what is on social media. Why? Because I'm building. Yeah, come here. Because I'm building. And when I build, your circle gets smaller. Can you type that? My circle gets smaller because my mindset has shifted, and stuff that makes sense to me now may not make sense to you anymore. And I'm not knocking you, but our conversation is just different. And so
that's it.
because of that, I gotta be willing to build alone, even when you don't like me, even when
Wow,
you have your oh, here we go, I'm about to say it, your little sly statements of, oh, you different? Oh, you better than us? Oh, even when I know that I'm not, because baby, you don't know the hell I've been
wow,
through. I'm gonna talk straight to this mic. You don't know the hell I've been through to get where I am. You don't know the tears that I've cried. You don't know what I've lost in order to be where I'm at. So you will not understand my praise. You will not understand my conversation. And because I'm not gonna dummy down who I am to make you comfortable, my circle just got a little bit smaller.
that's it. That's it.
Let the church say amen. Because I've shifted, my mind shifted. And so because my mind shifted, conversations I want to be around, I want to grow, I want to glow, I want to go to my next level. I want to be able to cultivate. I want to be able to capitalize, gain assets to the things that I'm doing. My conversation is different. So
Gotta
my
be.
circle gets smaller. You gotta be willing while you're building is understand that you're gonna have lonely moments, sugar, and you're gonna feel isolated by yourself. That's why you want to join the Lions Den. You know that.
Yeah, I
Sure
saw
did.
that. I saw that.
You
And
want to
listen,
join the Lions Den?
I used to tell my wife this here. Because what happens is, and I say this, it may sound bad when I say it, but sometimes you got to say stuff just to make sure you make yourself feel comfortable. I used to say stuff like CEOs got to stop wasting. I said we got to stop. CEOs got to stop wasting CEO conversations on employees.
What? Wait, bitch, you can't just say that and just go. I hope you wasn't finna keep going.
I'm now waiting to let it sizzle a little bit. And I'm gonna say again, CEOs can't waste CEO conversation on employees. And I know it sounds bad when I say that. The reason why I'm saying that because you gotta elevate yourself and see why they can't listen to you. You're talking about building a business, hiring employees, opening up a business bank account, working at night and while they trying to go out and they are still employees. They still talking about, working Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. They don't like their boss and they gonna take vacation for a month. You can't do that. So while you trying to talk CEO talk to employees, you wasting your conversation. You a lion talking to um whatever they are. I don't want to downgrade nobody. You're a lion, and you realize
Or
lions,
you a
lions.
giraffe talking to a turtle.
Yeah, that's
Giraffes
what you
are
would.
high.
Jeff Tucker. You got to come all the way down, and it talks about if you read the book
Instinct.
Instinct. It talks about if you stay down long enough, you're gonna pass out trying to explain yourself to somebody.
Come on here, G's on mainline.
You got to go ahead and come back up, bring your head back up because I can't take a chance of passing out trying to explain myself to you. And
Look,
so,
I saw this. I want to say something to this because that's another thing, Bella. We would get all the
oh yes,
time.
they
You
say you still working on your little
working on
business.
your little
Yep.
business. Soon as they said my little business, and see, I'm so and I had to learn not to get in my feelings because of what a person said because I understood. You don't even understand, sugar. You ain't even have you ever started a business in your life? Have you ever been so you don't know what you're talking about? That part, when you turn around in those conversations and people start throwing their little slugs about your business, you ain't not in this season because I can't take your slugs without
Mhm.
coming back with something that may hurt your feelings. So the best thing for me to do is just kind of step away.
That part, Miss Lee.
That
So
part.
I think that's great. So we got to go. What time is it?
One more, Bishop, your last one.
As I'm
Don't do
saying, this is
that.
my last one. I want to make sure I got my last one. So this is the last one. So at the end of the day, like I told you, if you're just jumping on, God has blessed our business to get to the point to where we made $1 million before. And like I said again, for those who listen, not that we made a million, our business made 1 million. And the only way we got to that point, and this discussion was just in general about now we haven't made millions, but we're trying to get to the point to where we realize that that's not an easy journey, and we see people quit. And the reason why we say it because we want you to know it's possible. It's possible, but it's boring. It is so boring. And the most boring part of it is we find out this statement: people don't pay people; they pay paper.
Can you
You
type
gotta.
that?
People don't pay people; they pay paper. And to get your business to the point where people are willing to give you the money that you need to operate and pay other people, you have to build your business. You have to build your business. Your business has got to look a certain kind of way in the beginning, and then after your business looks some kind of way in business in the beginning, then as you do business, then you have to continue developing your business and growing your business. Before you may have just had a business bank account and you were just getting your money and just putting in the bank account and you was doing your taxes, but now you need to get an accounting program. Before you just had an accounting program, but now you got to get a website. Every stage of people paying you out, your business got to look different. And this is why we try to get people in line then because we found out along the way what people, and this don't change. It don't change. Whether if you want a loan, they look for the same thing. If you want, uh, just anything, if you want a contract, it looks the same kind of way. If you want to work for, Miss Garrett, she just popped up on here. If you want to go work for a dealership, they looking for you to have the same kind of paperwork. You got to be willing to build your business and make it look like it's supposed to look. Now, watch this here. Many of y'all, if I'm on the side of the road and I got a tent and I'm cooking food in a tent, I'm gonna get a few customers. But when I change that tent to a food truck, I'm gonna get more customers. I change that food truck to a brick and mortar, I'm gonna get more customers. The more you build, the more you attract the right people. And now, if you want a loan to build that business, you got to make sure you kept your paperwork right. Those things we don't know. That's the true boring part of this. If I had a way of sharing my screen right now, which I don't have time to do it, I would share you a list of probably over 60 things that got to be done. And once you complete those things in different phases, you not qualify for different and you qualify for more. But what we try to do is be self-made. We try to figure it out fast. We try to get bits and pieces from everywhere we go, and we try to piece together this unfinished project, and we expect people to pour into it. That's not going to work that way. You got to be willing to go through step by step by step by step by step. Learn and add. Learn and add. Learn and add. It's going to take a while, but as you're learning, you're growing. As you're growing, you're making more money. As you're making more money, you're growing and you keep learning. You got to be willing to do the hard, unpopular stuff if you're ever going to make it to the somewhat popular stuff, if that makes sense, sweetheart.
No, that makes a lot of sense, man. You got to keep building. And I think the whole reason for this conversation is that this is not for the faint at heart, but if you put in the work, not only will you change your bank account, but you will change the trajectory of your generation for
Mm,
your grandbabies, for your family, for other families that you'll be able to do that for. You could change the entire your entire street if you continue to build. But if you stop and start, stop and start, stop and start, and there's nothing wrong with starting. If you're starting in the same place, it ain't nothing. But I will encourage you. You can't stop and start and don't have no accountability. It go back to church. It go back to the beginning. Like God told Moses, listen, Moses, you can't do this by yourself, bruh. Come on here in Exodus. I don't know the scripture. Ask Bishop that. But in Exodus, when Moses and Aaron sat down, Aaron saying, you doing too much, man. How about you
I
get
went there and
10?
there was Jethro. There was
Jethro,
Jethro.
you get 10 over 1,000. That's why you here. You put 10 over 1,000. You put 1,000. You know what I'm saying? You now let's put these people over these people over these people. And when you do this, it'll make it easier on you so that you won't keep stopping and starting and you're going through and you're doing too much.
You're right.
If he did it for Moses, you think he won't do the same thing for you when you get the right people to be over the right people? So you got to be willing to build. That's my thing. I think that's the thing that people don't understand. Harden Enterprise was started being built in 2018. It was a
Oh,
thought in 2018.
yeah,
2019, we started turning the wheel. Just we'll turn it and then walk away. Turn it and then you know how you had a bike upside down, go and just turn a little bit and walk away. Turn a little, and by 2020 we kept turning that bad boy. And
yeah,
after a while, we could turn that bike over and get on that joke and ride. You
yeah.
understand me? It started getting better. What you thinking, Bishop? You looking some type of way? What you thinking?
Nah, I just know how people think, and I know how they'll begin to listen to this, and their mind will get focused on uh one thing but not on the right thing, and I hate that we try our best to help people. We try our best to, share our experience. And I just wish people really qualify themselves and realize that they can do the same thing. I just it's just
I don't know. You
hard.
shifted real quick. I could feel you spiritually. You
I was thinking about
shifted.
all the people on the call right now, and you got some who listen, like, dang, I got to get my drive going, and I got to get my part going. And then you got somebody still disqualifying themselves, and I wish everyone would try to realize that it can happen, it can
Mm.
happen, but not everybody climbing the fence. That's just I apologize.
No, I could feel you. I know. But I know
Yeah,
some of them that's on here that say, okay, hey, I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. I
yeah,
just believe that, I just believe without, I guess I'm very optimistic when it comes to this, and that whoever hears this and whoever's listening to us, that they will understand that I can't do this by myself. I need a community, you know?
yeah,
I need a community. I think that was the thing for us. We kept building by ourselves all those years, from New Destiny. And of course, we had Bishop Woodard and them, but we were kind of doing a lot of stuff
yeah.
ourselves. And it
We
wasn't
were.
until we stopped being self made and started being in communities that allowed us to be built. And I just believe that there's some time in your life that God will make your mind shift to a
Yeah,
point where you realize that it's time. And I believe that's who we're assigned to.
yeah,
That's who
and
this
and
is.
And I'm back. I'm back, and I want to say this here to those who own it right here. So the purpose of this call was to let you know that it ain't gonna be easy. It's not. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a journey. We appreciate y'all sharing experiences, encouraging my faith. Thank you for saying that, Ms. Liggins. We want to let you know it's not going to be easy. And we're trying to debunk two things as we have these calls. We're trying to debunk two things. Number one, we're trying to debunk that it's easy. It's going to be a journey. But the second thing we're trying to debunk is that, and when I said the word debunk means change the mindset. We're trying to change the mindset that it's going to be easy. You can do it quick. You can do it quick. You do it quick. We're trying to change that mindset. But the second thing we're trying to change the mindset of is that you don't qualify. You do. You do. Me and my wife was homeless. We was at the worst stage of our life. We was at the most, most. I think God had to totally take us down because if we would have made where our business at right now from where we were, yeah, it probably would disqualify some people. But God had to put us all the way down to no
Yeah.
home,
And
and
we were spending money. We were not good stewards of what
yeah,
we had.
we was in a bad place. But God was able to take us there and say, now I can take someone in your condition and build you up and make you professional business owners. If God
Yeah.
can do that to us, He can do it to you. So I really want everyone on this call to hear me. If you don't listen on this call, hear me here. You, if you have a desire to do bigger than you can do it. Stop making excuses. Stop
Hmm.
trying to get focused on just making millions and focus on your mission, being committed, and realize that if I stick to it, I get to where I'm trying to go. I promise you, if you just get started, they always say the hardest part about moving a car is if it's got flat tires and not moving. But if we can get that thing moving, even if it don't start. If we get it pushing and we get it moving, it's easier to keep moving it. It's either move a boulder that you can finally get moving, you can move it better once it's moving. You got to move. You got to put some momentum to it. So I want to tell you, I believe in you. This is not about us. This is about you. I believe in you. I believe that you can do this, but we got to get out of that mindset that we got to just do it quick, get there fast, get there. No, no, no. Slow it down and become committed and join the lines then.
And join the lines there.
I'm
I
sorry
want
about
to
my
add
phone going
this.
crazy.
Okay. I want to add this in closing is that I think too, because every for every person that may say they can't, we could have been in the same boat, bad credit, homeless, not having nothing, not having enough money to even start. I think almost like God did that intentionally,
Yeah, yeah,
like every excuse that you may have, we probably didn't had, and we could tell you that you could do it. So,
yeah,
in closing, Bishop just messed me up. So I'm glad you shared that because I could
yeah.
feel you. I'm like, I felt
Yeah,
disappointment.
I just
I could
feel like
feel
people.
disappointment.
I feel like people was disqualifying themselves all over again, from the conversation. And I'm like, man, this was not about disqualification; it's about qualification. And so that's what it's about, though. We really want to let people know that this journey is not easy. Not that we made it. I think sometimes people say, well, y'all think y'all made it, or y'all made it, and I can't do it. Not that we made it. We on our journey still. We still cry right now. And the dean will
I
tell you that.
cried. And I say this, I cried Friday, all day Friday. And people would think, okay, because of my baby's wedding. No, I was crying because of business and because I feel like I made the worst mistake ever. You just have moments. I was
Yeah,
like, Lord, we about to lose this whole contract because I made a mistake. But at the end of the day, thank God we didn't lose it. But my
yeah,
thing is, hey, I got another day. It's Groundhog's Day. Today,
yeah,
Monday, I'm gonna hit it hard and make sure I pay attention and do what I have to do and keep growing. So it's just one of those. I would say
yeah.
that. But Bishop, I know we gotta go because your phone going
Yeah, we
off.
do. Yeah,
Listen,
yeah,
y'all, thank y'all for rocking out with us. Join us next Monday, man. We're doing coffee conversation. I don't know what we're talking about, but we did want to come over here. It is the third quarter. Can you put on the screen third quarter of the year? We are walking into the third quarter of the year already. That's why we wanted to do this mind your business moment as you prepare for your third quarter of the year. To all our business owners out there, man, make sure your paperwork is right. Make sure you're doing what you have to do. Make sure you're taking care of your taxes. Make sure you're doing what you have to do to stay in the game. Make sure you're building, even if it's boring. Just keep building. I promise you. Millions is on the way for your business, but you got to be willing to build it and build it properly and do it the right way. But also, last but not least, join the Lions Den Small Business Community where we show you how to start, how to scale, how to sustain, and how eventually to sell your business one day. Come and be a part of that. We'll put it in the screen for you to rock out with us, man. Join it. It's $65 a month. Join us. That is the best investment that you can get with a database for you to start the journey. You, soon as you click the $65 I want to start, guess what? You go straight into the classes. You get your first assignment for you to be able to start. And then every other Sunday, we rock
We
out. This
need.
Sunday is our Sunday to rock out, starting the third quarter off with business owners in the Lions Den. So join
Yep.
us to be a part of that. And we're excited about the new people that are
And
joining.
men, I want men. Come on, men. The women are
Yeah,
outdoing us in this group.
bitch say
I
they
want
outdo.
some love. We got a new man to join. I thank God. We got one man to join, so now we're two. We need
All the
is it two
lines in.
men?
Can y'all put the lines in? Tell them, come on, join. Tell them in the
Get the men
screen.
on board.
Join. Tell them
The
to join
women
the
are
line.
hungry, but the men are just sitting back waiting for the women to take over.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for rocking out. Thank y'all for being a part. Join the Lions Den small business community where we're growing and we're celebrating and we cry together and we collaborate together. And this Sunday, if y'all Lions Den, bitch, tell them they homework. Do your homework that bitch told
I'm
y'all to
about
do.
tired. I'm about tired
Bitch,
of telling them homework. Well, it was read the book, but I can't remember what the homework was. It was read the book. What else
that's
was it?
okay.
Oh
Put it
no,
in the
they they
classroom.
they
Put it in
got
the
they
classroom. Tell them.
everybody said my homework's too hard. Remember that they said my
Yeah, they
homework's too
did.
hard.
They did say your home was too hard.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
y'all, we gotta go. Thank y'all for rocking out. If you don't remember anything else, happy hunting. Let's
Let's
see.
see.
Bye bye.